Test 1 2 3. Test 3 2 1. Testing, just testing. Test 1 2 3. Test 3 2 1. Testing, just testing the sound. Hello guys, Techinthehouse here. Yet for another live stream. Today we have two news articles, very interesting articles. One of them about Samsung and another one about Huawei. Thank you for joining, and we'll be starting soon. Just testing, test. Okay, sound is perfect. Music is a little bit loud. Testing again, test. Let's see. Okay. So hello, welcome everyone for yet another live stream to have important conversations of tech topics, and hopefully we reach interesting conversations. So excuse me just a second, we'll be starting soon. So we'll be starting in a little bit, in about 5 minutes. I'll have to relocate my things and I'll be back in a minute. See you guys, I'll be sending you guys to the post screen. See you soon. Okay guys, so we are back. Well, as I was saying, welcome to the live stream. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Welcome. So this is basically just to explain for, in case there are new viewers. This is basically a series of live streams in which we just pick 2 or 3 tech topics that are trending, tech articles, we read, we go through them, we discuss different parts of them, and hopefully reach conclusions through a very friendly and open space and debate. So basically it's just an informal conversation in which we debate all types of tech topics and hopefully reach important conclusions, and that's why it's always so important for all of you guys at home to comment down below, either on the comment section if you're watching this later as a pre-recorded video, or in the chat if you're watching it live. What do you think of literally everything we talk about in these live streams? So today, as you've already probably seen by the title, and I'll just check the sound once more, just to make sure everything is alright. Okay, yes, sound is perfect. So today, as we already seen by the title, we have two articles. One of them is about Samsung's new flagship lineup coming in 2025, and another one is about Huawei's flagship lineup as well, and how they might be running some proprietary software, on this case firmware, no software at all, and operating system, that's what I meant. And we'll see. Very interesting and promising articles with very interesting and promising future promises, but we'll see how it goes. So we'll be starting soon, and thank you for joining. Okay, now you guys can hear me. So, okay guys, so here we are. We'll start the live stream right now. So, if anyone has just entered the live stream, welcome. This is a live stream that we do as often as possible in this channel that is related to tech, and basically we just debate important topics by reading trending articles about tech news, and we debate on it. It's an open space. Everyone is free to comment and leave their thoughts in either on the chat or in the comment section down below, and I will read everything and we'll discuss everything, and hopefully we reach some interesting conclusions, as always. So sit back and relax, maybe grab some snacks, and we'll start just about now. So the first article that we have for today is titled Video Leaks of Samsung's curvier Galaxy S25 Ultra display. So apparently, allegedly, the next Samsung S25 Ultra flagship will have curved borders, curved display. Like, honestly, by the title and by the photo, I'm struggling to understand whether they're talking about the borders or the borders. Now that's the problem. I mean, the borders of the screen, of the border, or the borders of the frame. But I will resort to checking on the latest Galaxy to see if I can understand this. So Galaxy S24 Ultra, right? The last one launched. How was it? How was the screen? Let's check. Okay, it's square, it's boxy, right? The borders, okay. But if I'm not mistaken, on the other end, the S24, the regular version, it is not boxy borders, right? It isn't squared. Let me check on that. So it's like, although it's rounded on the frame, the borders are sharp to an extent, but not the regular version. Exactly, bingo. Okay, just checking to make sure we know what we are comparing the next version to. So basically what they're trying to say is these corners will be round. Okay, so there won't be sharp edges, so it will resemble more the regular 20 and 24 and 24 plus. So is this a good thing? I would say so, because it means that the phone will be easier to hold. If your phone doesn't have sharp edges, it just won't stab your hand at all. So from my perspective, I think this will be a good thing. But please do let me know in the comment section or on the chat what you guys think about this. But let's go through with the article. So it shows a working prototype with rounded corners ahead of an expected early 2025 launch. Okay, this is an article by Jess Weatherbed, a news writer. The usual one, I suppose. So let's see. The Samsung Galaxy S25 series is poised to launch in early 2025, but a new leak gives us a good idea of what it will look like. A misleadingly titled S24 Ultra definitely video posted to Reddit, determined to be the Galaxy S25 Ultra by a reliable leaker Ice Universe, shows off rounded corners not found on Samsung's current flagship smartphones, backing up previous leaks and rumors. Okay, but this is the part I don't understand. If we've just seen that Galaxy S24 Ultra, the Galaxy S24, the regular version, does have rounded corners, how can they state this, that current flagship phones do not have round corners? Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't Samsung's latest flagship devices round cornered? I suppose I could be mistaken, but I don't think so. They are. Not the Ultra version, but the regular versions, they most certainly are. Let's just make here a quick search. I suppose you guys can see. It is. No, this is the FE. We have it here, S24. It is a rounded corners. So I'm not really sure what they are trying to say here, but I guess what they could say is that the Ultra version hasn't been rounded cornered yet, and that it will be on the next launch. I suppose that's what they're trying to say. But the way it is worded, it sounds strange to me. But let's see what they're actually trying to say. So, the rounded corners also echo the rounder UI elements found in the upcoming One UI 7 software update that Samsung will soon be rolling out. Other features seen in the hands-on video include a glossy finish, metallic-looking edges, and Samsung's recognizable rear camera setup, all of which were also seen in supposed Galaxy S25 Ultra dummy units that leaked last week. Okay, maybe by going into Reddit, in this video posted, we can get more information on this. Let's see. Let's see what we can take out of this video of a supposedly prototype. But I do have to say that usually these videos are not necessarily trustworthy. There are a lot of mock-ups made by enthusiasts and even people with questionable intentions, so let's take this with a grain of salt. Hopefully it's something interesting. Let's see this video. Let's see. I mean, from a user perspective, I don't see much difference. I mean, it still just looks like an awesome screen made by Samsung, nothing special. I don't think there will be an increase on the screen ratio. It looks the same, so rounded corners, I don't think they really make a difference. Okay, so this video does give us more of a perspective on how it looks both from the front and from the back as well. And yes, I do have to say that it does looks different to the photos we were seeing from Galaxy S24, in the sense that Galaxy S24 has more of a roundish vibe, whereas this supposed mock-up, it still keeps the boxy essence. It still looks boxy, like as a box, but it's still round, so it looks kind of a mix. Whereas S24 is basically round, like a soap. Okay, so but what you guys think? Which one does look better? This soapy appearance or this boxy appearance? Do let me know in the chat or in the comment section down below. I personally am not sure. I don't know. I think that this mixture of boxy and rounded corners looks a little bit weird. Maybe it looks not that much flexible from an appearance perspective, not like literally, but I'm not a fan of it. I would give it a 3 from 0 to 5, but it's not even confirmed that Samsung will follow this direction, so let's wait and see. But let's see what else do we have here in the article. So, the shift to a softer edged design has also been seen in Google Pixel lineup, which has ditched, okay, we can put some pictures of this to compare next, which has ditched the much squarer look feature on a Pixel 6. If Samsung is indeed following suit, the Galaxy S25 Ultra should be more comfortable to hold than the sharp-edged Galaxy S24 Ultra. So the editor of this article seems to agree that if this happens to become a reality, the phone will be more comfortable to hold. It will be, but I don't think it will be much more aesthetic than it already is. But that is just my opinion. So we won't know for sure until the S25 series is officially announced, which should happen at the Unpacked event that Samsung usually holds in January or February. So I guess to really find out what's happening we'll have to wait, so maybe until then we'll even see rumors that say the opposite, but I would like to put here some pictures of the latest Google Pixel so that we can compare the degree of roundness. Google Pixels have always been known for roundness. I don't think they have this thing in which even when they had that Google Pixel that was boxy, maybe the 7, I'm not sure which one, it still had rounded corners. So they always been on this vibe of making things round. But I don't want to say that they're the round kings or the kings of round phones. But let's compare them. So let's see, this is the S24 with a soap-like appearance. This is the supposedly S24 Ultra with a boxy-like appearance. And just a second, let me see if I can switch this. This is Pixel 9 Pro with what it seems to be a mix of both, I would say. I mean, but overall mostly round. It's mostly round. Whereas I feel like S24 Ultra, the supposedly mock-up, when I look at it I feel like I get boxy vibes. Whereas Pixel 9 Pro you get like round vibes. Which one is better? I would certainly say that Google Pixel 9 Pro looks like way better than both of them, both S24 and S24 Ultra. But we have to keep in mind that this is just a mock-up. We don't know even if it's real, and usually they don't look as good as the final product, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But please do let me know in the comment section down below which phones would you guys pick if you had to pick in terms of design, not specs, not capabilities, just design. Would you pick this reportedly, allegedly S24 Ultra, the S24, or a Google Pixel 9 Pro? Do let me know. But yeah, this was the first news we had for today. The second is about Huawei, and this is very exciting, this news. Huawei has been claiming for a long time that they want to build a platform of their own with an ecosystem of their own that is completely independent from Google. Some years ago they've launched Harmony OS. We all thought it would be something groundbreaking because it was pitched like that at the end of the day. They pitched it like something new, big, made from zero, and it turned out it wasn't. It was based on Android. Fast forward some years, now we are in a position in which they say they have finally became capable of making the switch to something brand new and brandly, hopefully not based on Android. How much truth there is to this, it's questionable because I mean, I don't know, we've seen it in the past, claims that didn't live up, realities that didn't live up really to the claims that they were making. So I'm very curious to read this article. But before this article, I'd like to go back to the one from Samsung and just see the comments. I'd like to see what people think about this new design. And then we'll move on to the Huawei's Mate 70, allegedly new operating system. I have always found the idea of a brand new operating system arising very exciting and interesting, but we've seen so many attempts over the years and they've all failed. We've seen Windows Phone, it failed. We've seen so many, it never seems to stick by many reasons, being it developers not making apps or operating system not being stable enough. But I don't know to what extent is Huawei able to achieve something like this in such a short time span. A part of me, when it was found out that their system was based on Android, was relieved in the sense that I knew, oh, okay, so they didn't go from zero, so it won't be just too behind the competition. But because that's a risk you are always getting into. But let's see what people are saying about the Samsung's design. So we have here Coolish saying, are we really celebrating the homogenization of phone design? I love the sharp edges on my S24 Ultra. There's nothing uncomfortable about it to my hands. Elimination of choice is never a good thing. Okay, so this is a very interesting perspective. I always love feedback like this because it's from people who actually have their devices. They daily drive it, they use it daily, and they know what they're talking about. And so, according to Coolish, he has no uncomfortability whatsoever when holding his S24 Ultra. And that says a lot. That makes us question, why is Samsung trying to fix this anyway if no one is complaining? It's not that I believe that no one is complaining, there certainly people who have complained about this, but to what extent is this an issue big enough to engage with? Because usually companies only engage with issues that affect a large amount of people, so I'm wondering if this was just an issue large enough, or if they didn't just have other issues to deal, so they just picked a random one. But because at the end of the day, smartphones are stagnating. But it's a very interesting perspective. I'd like to know if anyone watching uses an S24 Ultra, please let me know how does it feel in your hand overall. But let's move on to another comment. We have here MP1RE saying, holding my 24 Ultra up in comparison, and this looks very blunt. Samsung should have kept the edges to stand out from everything else. Okay, interesting perspective. Oh, we have here an owner of a Pixel 9. Let's see. James 5 Smith. He's saying, as an owner of a Pixel 9, I can confidently say, Android is not ready for rounded corner displays. There are so many times menus, overlays, etc. RFUBR because the UI element is off the corner of the display because it's rendering it for square edges. Two quick examples. Let's see, this is very interesting. The X to close an ad or a game menu overlay, either entirely off screen or mostly off screen. The one password overlay currently displays the controls underneath, as it's layered below. The top status bar. On my Pixel 8, it was below the status bar like it should be. End of the world? No, of course not. But frustrating as hell. Okay, this is a very interesting feedback from someone who owns a Pixel 9. Okay, I honestly didn't think about this. I thought this was not an issue, but apparently, according to James 5 Smith, there are UI elements, or at least let's say this is just in Google OS. Let's say this is on pure Android that comes into Pixels, because we don't know to what extent does this happen in Samsung. I've never heard of issues like this being reported on Samsung because of curved edges, so this could be a thing contained to Android version delivered in Pixel devices. But as far as we know, you can have problems with things that are too near the edge and they do not get displayed correctly, according to James 5 Smith. Okay, I would say that if this is an issue, I mean, this is easy to fix. It's a software-like thing. It's just to adapt things properly. But I don't see this as a reason not to engage into design changing. If anything, I would say that it's a reason to engage in design changing, because it's something that can be easily fixed. If there are other more serious problems, then we would refrain from it. But let's see more comments. There are a lot of interesting comments, it seems. We have here Cyan69 saying, how are some people seeing this and saying it looks like an iPhone? The camera layout is completely different and it has a much more rectangular design with less pronounced curves on the corner. Were they meant to make it a circle? Okay. Yes, no, I don't know who's saying this, but I completely disagree as well. Cyan, I agree with this comment. There is no way this looks like an iPhone. I don't think it looks like an iPhone. I don't think anyone would pick it up and think it's an iPhone. I would say there are far more phones out there in the market that look way more like an iPhone. So no, I don't think it's fair to make this comparison. But we do have an answer. This is someone who answered to Cyan, P Devil, and P Devil said its rounded corners and a focus on a natural titanium color, something Apple pushed into the mainstream US with the iPhone before Samsung. If you have to flip over a phone to look at the camera cutouts to differentiate it from another popular phone, it's safe to call it similar in design. Well, as well intentioned as this comment might have been, I have to completely disagree with this. What P Devil here is saying basically is just by looking only at the front of the phones, if you can distinguish phones, then it's calling they are similar by design. How can you even state this? I would say that like I don't know, 70% of the phones look all the same looking from the front. I think it has always been the back of the phone, the element that you use to distinguish them for years. This is not something new. Most phones you can just accurately say what phone it is or distinguish in between them just looking by the front. The front is the screen. The screen is basically the same unless you can tell pixels apart and understand which one is 4K, which one is 8K. You're not supposed to be able to tell most phones apart by looking at the front. Now, I know notches exist, and if you see a phone with a notch and a phone with a drop notch, you can kind of tell, okay, this is this is that. But let's pretend notches don't exist and we live in a world with just a tiny hole camera, which is also not an option. Some people consider it a type of notch as well. But the easiest way to distinguish two phones has always been the back. So I have to completely disagree with this comment. But please guys, you guys at home, please do let me know. Do you agree with Pete Devil here in some way? Do you think if two phones look the same, look alike from the front, you can say that one was inspired on the other? I struggle to agree with this. But please do let me know, you guys at home, what you think about this. Let's move on to another comment, because actually Cyan69 answered to P-Devil. Let's see how will he justify his reasoning. Let's see. Apple already sued Samsung for that stuff years ago. We are in 2024 now, and all smartphones have a pretty similar design. Agree, I completely agree. I guess when Apple released the original iPhone in black, they were copying Nokia then, right? Let's see how different they make their foldable iPhone from the ones already in the market when it's finally out. This is a good point, and of course, I don't think color is an element enough in itself to say that you copied someone, so I do not take Samsung accountable for also using titanium designs. I would say that you're just following the trend. I mean, think about it. If let's say you are with a group of friends, and no, let's say there are two friends hanging out. One friend has a Samsung, one friend has an iPhone. The friend with a Samsung has a Samsung S25 Ultra Titanium Edition. The Apple friend has, I don't know, Apple 16 Pro Max Titanium Edition as well. So to some extent they can relate to one another. If they were to try to see for some reason which one of the friends has the best phone, at least if you don't enter into specs and all those complicated things, by looking at them you'd say they're at the same level. They're both the latest number of their companies. They are S24 and iPhone 16, so they're on the top. There's no iPhone 70, there's no S25. And if you look at them from a design perspective, they're both made of titanium, so you'd say they're equal. So it's a marketing strategy, and if you didn't do this, let's imagine a different world in which the Apple friend still has an iPhone 16 Pro Max with titanium, but the Samsung S25 Ultra friend is not made of titanium. Then he will feel inferior, and suddenly he becomes a liability in the sense that he can feel compelled to switch to Apple, or at least feel a little less loyal to Samsung. So they're just protecting the brand, and I don't think following trends is a bad thing. A lot of people like to frame it as copying. I think there's a difference, a line in between copying and following trends. But please do let me know in the comments. Do you guys think that imitating colors that are being released by other competitors is copying or just following trends? Please do let me know in the comment section down below. But let's see, because Cyan also replied back to P-Devil once again. And let's see what did he say. Apple already sued Samsung for that. No, wait. Is this the same answer? Sorry, no. But did he repeat it? No, I scrolled it too much. Wait. Okay, it's here. This is P Devil's answer. So, Apple didn't sue Samsung for using natural titanium and having a more iPhone aesthetic with their devices. Yes, I do agree. I don't think that has ever happened. I don't think Samsung ever sued another company by the color of a device. That was back when Samsung copied the iPhone OS icon design along with a few other things. Apple didn't use titanium until the iPhone 15, but it was also a coincidence that Samsung also used and offered a natural titanium color with the next series of Galaxy phones. Yeah, they didn't copy anything. Okay, P-Devil, I was agreeing with what you were saying until this now. I don't think it was a coincidence. I think it's just they followed the trend. I think it was deliberate, but that's me. But now, with Apple in their full-on second and third generation of rounded corners, Samsung is going to do the same thing because it's just natural. Yes, and that's why I think that just like they are following the trends of rounded corners, they were also following when they decided to make titanium colors. I don't think companies just wake up and say, oh, wait, the next big thing is gonna be titanium. I don't think so. I think, and why would both companies reach the same conclusion that titanium would be the next big thing? No, I think they saw people liked it and they just followed along. Because at the end of the day, companies want to produce something people like, because that's how they sell. So if people like titanium, if people are buying and they are willing to give money to have a titanium phone, why not? What I don't agree with is when certain companies state that their phone is made of titanium and then a YouTuber that lives their life by breaking devices apart, breaks that device apart and finds out it's not 100% that titanium like the ads make you look like, make you think about. So that's a problem when companies produce marketing materials that induce people into mistakes, and this has happened on both sides. Both Apple and Samsung have done this multiple times in the past, and it is what it is. Either by not disclosing all the information that we should know, like when Samsung was claiming their phones could to this day, Samsungs are known for this, claiming they could zoom into the moon and take pictures while not disclosing that there's a whole work behind the scenes of AI, which is not bad in my opinion. AI has been in photography for a long time. At this point, it's impossible to take it out of photography. It recognizes things, it fixes things. Even cameras have it as well, just not in as much of a high degree as smartphones. But it is what it is. I don't think it's something we can detach from photography at this point. It's part of it. It identifies flowers, it puts them as they're supposed to be, it exposes skies and things as they're supposed to be because it identifies it, and this is important. I don't think a camera is less of a camera because it is intelligent. I don't think a photography is less of photography because it was taken with an intelligent camera. I don't think this. But this is just my opinion, guys. Please do let me know if you guys think that photographies that were aided by AI shouldn't be... bear in mind, I'm not talking about AI-generated images. That is a whole different field. Texting, producing text, inputting text and getting an image. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actual pictures that were... the machine that shot them resorted to AI to some extent, but not the thing of writing a text and producing an image generating. That's not what I'm advocating for. Not that I'm against that, but that's just not the topic I'm trying to discuss. But let's see more. But yes, do let me know what you guys think about this. Let's see more comments here. Okay, there's not much more. I mean, this comment section is full with people, some happy, some not so happy, but let's see. We have another article to read, which is also very interesting, so let's move on to that other article. So here we go. Huawei claims their next devices Mate 70 will be running an Android-free OS. So this is exciting. Will we have here the birth of a third operating system into smartphones, which would be called Harmony OS next? Is this actually gonna happen? I have my doubts, but I hope this article clarifies my doubts, so let's see. let's see. All four models in Huawei's Mate 70 lineup will be offered with the company's own Harmony Next, which isn't compatible with Android apps. Okay, we should stop here because I'm actually confused. Are they trying to flex? Is this a flex? I don't think it's a flex to say that your phone isn't compatible with Android apps. If anything, that sounds like a liability. How are you gonna produce a device and it's not compatible with the largest library of software that has ever existed for smartphones? I mean, I don't know in between App Store and Play Store which one is larger, but at least one of the largest stores. And you're flexing that it's not compatible with that? That sounds like a sentence to death. So you're saying that this project is gonna fail. I'm not sure what they're trying to achieve here, but I'm curious to let's see what this article has to present us. Please do let me know, guys, what you think of this. Is this something to flex on, that your phone is not compatible with Android apps? Let's see, because this sounds like a flex, honestly. Why they're putting it on the subtitle here? It isn't compatible. You could just say that it's Android free, like it's not based on Android, but flexing this like this, it's not compatible. I mean, Huawei phones haven't been compatible with some Android apps for some time now because those apps rely on Google services and they cannot get Google services installed properly, by the normal ways because they're blocked. So I don't think that's a flex. That's not something to be happy about. But let's see. Let's see the article. So Huawei has announced its new Mate 70 series smartphone lineup, which will be the first offered with the company's new Harmony OS Next operating system that doesn't rely on Google's Android services and won't run any Android apps, according to a report by Reuters. Okay. The four models of the Mate 70 also don't feature any US hardware, following a half decade of US sanctions. Whoa, I can't believe that's been already 5 years of US sanctions to Huawei. How time flies. But again, I don't understand why they're flexing that they won't run any Android apps. I mean, this makes me concerned about the success of this operating system. I was excited, and I'm understanding the excitement is not justified because this will flop. It appears so. How are they gonna get apps to work? Because think about this. Before, when in the system, as it is right now, you can install some apps from App Gallery, Huawei's proprietary store, and there are a lot of apps there. We have to acknowledge that. But there are still apps like Uber, for example, which don't work because it requires Google Maps services to function. And now, if you're saying that it's not just those apps, but also any app produced for systems based on Android won't function. So you're basically excluding. I don't understand what they're hoping to get developers to produce brand new versions of their apps for this new operating system. How are they going to achieve that? One thing is to have already an app and then make it available on Huawei's proprietary store. Another thing is to have to remake it to function on another completely different operating system. I'm struggling. I think this system will flop. But please, guys, do let me know what you think so far about this. Is the success of this operating system plausible? I don't think so. I would say from a scale from 0 to 10, the success probability, I would say it's a 4, I believe, in my opinion, a 4 from 0 to 10. But let's see what else the article has to tell us. The Mate 70, Mate 70 Pro, Mate 70 Pro Plus, and Mate 70 RS will also be offered with Huawei's Harmony OS 4.3, which first launched in August 2019, has an alternative to Google's Android OS and is still compatible with Android's extensive app library. Yes, this is the version this is the situation in which we are currently. It's an Harmony OS, but it's just basically a skinned Google Android version. Users who decide to opt for Huawei's new Android-free Harmony OS Next will have less choice when it comes to the apps they can install. Huawei says it has secured more than 50,000 applications for its Harmony OS ecosystem, with plans to expand to 1,000 apps in the coming months, according to Reuters. Okay, starting next year, Huawei also says all the new phones and tablets it launches in 2025 will run Harmony OS. Oh, and we have here a promotional video which we'll play in a second, but I need some time to digest what we've just read. Okay, this is interesting. So basically, they are alleging they have already secured a considerable size of applications. Like, this is nothing, of course, compared with Play Store, but it's something. It's better than nothing. So they are a little better than I expected. So now their scale of success, in the scale of success from 0 to 10, I'd give them a 5. I would raise 1 point. I'd say a 5. So it's 50-50. They can flop or they can be successful. But it's interesting. I'm curious to see how is this process happening? How did they secure these apps? Will it be just Chinese apps? I'm curious, but I don't think we'll get answers anytime soon. I think this will be a long process, but let's hope not, because having a third system would be exciting in the industry. Finally, having just Android and iOS has been an interesting ride, but let's see this promotional video. This is a promotional video for the phone, I believe. Maybe they will be just showcasing hardware rather than software, but let's see.
Matinal livre, para toda a família cuidar do seu bem-estar digestivo e imunitário.
Okay, I hope this is not too loud.
鸿蒙开，万物生。华为 Mate 70系列引领创新科技与极致体验，经典星环设计，邂逅工艺美学，将金丝编织进银色锦缎之中，光影流转。从中华传统文化中汲取灵感，推出了 Mate 70 Pro 加东方锦色。金丝银锦，飞天青，羽衣白，墨云黑，取自丝绸、舞蹈、乐曲、书画、风信子、曜石黑。
Let's see, their own proprietary system, photography, yes. So basically, yes. Yes, that's it. Huawei continues to be a brand heavily focused on ecosystem features and photography. It was always their core identity, and that's why they were such a threat to Apple, because that's also the core identity of Apple, basically, ecosystem and photography. But let's see what else we have here. Let's see this new device. The base model Huawei Mate 70 features a 6.7-inch display with up to 100 Hz refresh rates, 5000 battery, 66 watts fast charging. Okay, everything that you have a right to get when you buy a flagship. Let's see, 50 megapixel main camera, yada yada yada. Price starts at around 7,000. No, but this is in China, no one. Okay, if it came, it could be another different price if it came outside of China. Okay, let's see, anything interesting so far in the specs? Nothing's too special. So Huawei hasn't confirmed what processors are being used in the Mate 70 lineup, but a company has previously used chips made by China SMIC for last year's Mate 60. Yes, this is also an interesting part, because as we know, they are kind of in the embargo. They can, not embargo is not the correct word, but they are the sanctions. One of the parts of it is that they can't negotiate with basically they just can't get chips because there's American technology involved, and which means they can negotiate with those brands, which means they have to produce their own chips on other factories like SMIC, which means they get like technology from 4 to 5 years ago, so they do not get top of the notch processors, let's say from Snapdragon or something like that, and they can't either produce them on their own under their own branding, because they do not have access to the technology. But it is what it is. I'm curious to see. The rest of the article is kind of boring, it's just specs, but I'm interested in seeing people's comments. Let's see what people are saying about this. So we have here Invincible God saying, I'm looking forward to the teardown of the OS. Last time they just forked Android slightly, so I look forward to see what changes they made to make it not compatible with Android at all. Okay, this is an interesting perspective. So from what I can understand, Invincible God is assuming that since Harmony OS was based on Android, Harmony OS Next would be just Harmony OS, which is based on Android, but further modified with more and more modifications to such a degree that it stops being compatible with Android apps at all. So it would still kind of be Android in a sense, but just more and more like heavily modified in comparison to how little it was modified when they made the fork. So that is an interesting perspective. Me personally, I was thinking of something different, like changing the roots of how things were made and coming up with something completely new. But if this is the case, then it is concerning, because if it's just the same fork but with further modifications to the extent that it's not compatible with the Android apps at all, then I'm concerned about what type of modifications are those, or did they just modify it on purpose in a way that it wouldn't be compatible, so that just that they could flex that it's not compatible, because like making your operating system incompatible with Android apps doesn't make it stop from being a fork, an Android fork. So hopefully this is not the case, but if it is, it's kind of sad, honestly. It's very sad. But you can see here that James WR8 says, knowing Huawei, it's always a copy. Yep, but this would be very, very sad if this is the case. Hopefully not, hopefully not. But it is what it is. It can be the case. We'll see, hopefully. I mean, you have to give it to Huawei. Of course, people claim that they have copied here, copied there. What brand hasn't copied? But if you go back before the US sanctions, Huawei was driving the industry forward. They were producing features that to this day no other brand has produced. Let's not pretend like gesture navigation. I mean, I do know Google had tried it, but like gesture navigation that actually works like Huawei, no one has done it. So many features that they've put work into and tested to work properly that no other brand had tried to. There's also this one of when you get close to the phone call that is ringing, the sound goes down. There were so many little things that made the experience of having a Huawei phone so much interesting than other phones. And I think that's how they got to conquer such a strong fan base, that to this day even they have fans in countries in which they have closed stores already and they're not selling anymore. So it's very interesting. But it is what it is. So what do you guys think about this? Will Huawei be successful on this endeavor of theirs, producing a brand new system? I have my doubts. I'll rank it in a probability of success of 5 in a scale from 0 to 10. But we'll see. I wish them the best of the lucks. So this was it for today, guys. These were the 2 articles I had for today. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to leave your like, and if you're new here to the channel, please subscribe. This is just usual daily little live streams in which we debate interesting topics and hopefully reach interesting conclusions. It's basically just a hangout place to chill a little bit and talk about tech. So hopefully you guys liked these topics that I picked for today. Hope they were interesting. And as always, thank you for joining in and taking the time to engage in this interesting world of tech. Thank you for being here, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Techinthehouse, and I'll be sending you guys to the space screen, and then the live stream will end soon. Thank you, guys. this is your captain speaking. Prepare for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.